What's up, everyone? Welcome into DodgerHeads, presented by DodgerBlue.com. My name is Jeff Spiegel, and today we're breaking down some comments made by Max Scherzer. Scherzer signed a 3-year, $130 million contract with the Mets earlier this week. It's something we've discussed about. That is a huge number. The fact that he is making $43.3 million a year, average annual value, it's the highest number ever. The fact that despite his age, he's getting a third year of that from the Mets. It was one of those situations where, hey, we would have loved to have you back, but we weren't going to go to that number. Well, yesterday was the news conference, the press conference where he announced, where he was introduced, and some unbelievable head-scratching comments, as our Matt Moreno put it, from Scherzer. And there's two that I want to focus on. The first one was this. Scherzer said, quote, he was drawn to the Mets by their commitment to winning. I joke, it must be tough to leave an organization like the Dodgers and go to an organization like the Mets if your biggest desire is to win. Now, of course, the Mets have shelled out money, signing Eduardo Escobar, signing a bunch of players this offseason so far. They have been active in free agency, and yet they're still the Mets. Like, you still look at that roster. They've got Lindor, of course. They've got guys that are good baseball players. But to say that you're going to the Mets because of their commitment to winning, yes, they've made a commitment in the last 2 to 3 weeks to spend money, but what have you seen from that organization that leads you to believe that they have what it takes to win? Even their best player, Jacob deGrom, he has health issues. He hasn't been able to stay healthy, and so whether or not the Mets can win, who knows? I mean, on paper, they're one of the better teams in baseball, especially this year. But for Scherzer to say, yes, sign me up for 3 years with the Mets because of their commitment to winning, that was fascinating to me. Now, what was more interesting, though, was another set of comments he made as it related to the Dodgers and their strategy as far as taking care of him. Of course, if you remember, Max Scherzer, scheduled to pitch for the Dodgers in the NLCS, could not because of what was referred to as dead arm. Some people thought it was related to his appearance in Game 5 of the NLDS as a relief pitcher. Well, Scherzer came out and said basically that one of the reasons he left the Dodgers was because he didn't agree with their management of him as a pitcher. He said, we made decisions to give extra days out on a consistent basis to watch our pitch counts for the postseason. I feel like that lowered my capacity so that when I tried to do the 2019 formula of being able to pitch out of the pen, my arm wasn't able to respond to that because I came from a lower pitch count per se. That's why I didn't get hurt. That's why I didn't hurt myself, but I was definitely compromised trying to execute what I was trying to do in 2019. Now, what was interesting is a bunch of folks took this and went and did the research. JP Hoonstra had this. Max Scherzer's final 6 starts as a National, 98.2 pitches per game. Scherzer's final 9 starts as a Dodger, 96.3 pitches per game. So is Scherzer saying the fact that the Dodgers were having him throw 2 less pitches per game is the reason that he was able to remain healthy in one season rather than in this season? That doesn't seem to make a ton of sense. He went on to say, I've never asked the manager for the ball and gotten hurt like that or not be able to make my next start. It's never happened to me in all my years of pitching. You can go ask my managers. If I tell you I can go, I can go. This was the first time I ran into something like that where I thought I could do something and it didn't show up. It took me a while to search through that. Like, what happened? What was the difference? Why was I not able to execute? For me, the 2019 postseason plan, and that's what I came to. It's that the Dodgers managed him. It's that he hadn't ramped up enough. His arm wasn't fresh enough, and that was the reason for dead arm. Look, on one hand, I tend to say, you know what, Max Scherzer's a Hall of Famer. He's been doing this. He's a pitcher. He knows his body far better than me, and so I think he deserves the benefit of the doubt to some degree. On the flip side, you look at the numbers, it just doesn't make sense. The way he thought he was being treated apparently does not line up with how he was being treated, and when we're talking about a 37-year-old, it's a lot easier to say, oh, it's their fault. The reason I had dead arm after pitching out of the bullpen is not because I'm 37. It's not because I'm getting up there in age. It's not because I'm past the age when most guys retire. It's because of how they handled me. So all this to say a very bizarre press conference quotes from Max Scherzer, but at the end of the day, you know what? He's gone. He's a Met. He was only a Dodger for a few months. We will forever have Game 5 of the NLDS, which I stand by, beating the Giants. His appearance in that game, beating the Giants, was not equivalent to winning the World Series, but outside of winning the World Series, maybe one of the most significant Dodger moments of my lifetime because of my dislike for the Giants. So the fact that Scherzer played a role in that, getting the close in Game 5, shout out to him. So anyways, what do you think of Max Scherzer's comments below? Like, do you think there's something to the way the Dodgers handle pitchers? I know I had folks on Twitter saying they don't like how Dave Roberts handles pitchers and how they sort of bubble wrap some folks. Maybe you agree with Scherzer. So let us know in the comments below what you think about that. Of course, if you want more of a breakdown on Scherzer's contract, we've got videos of that as well. So we appreciate you joining us. Check out Dodger Blue 1958 on social media. Make sure you're subscribed here. Ring the notification bell. Of course, we got tons of content up. Chris Taylor re-signing with the Dodgers. We've got content coming about the lockout and what's really going on. So stay tuned here. Ring the notification bell to make sure you got that. We appreciate you joining us as always. We'll see you next time.